Overnight, global markets and policymakers stayed focused on two linked storylines: escalating conflict around Iran and Israel, and the knock-on effects for energy, shipping and inflation. In the Gulf, multiple outlets report the U.S. has rescued a seriously wounded airman from inside Iran after an F-15E was shot down. The Financial Times and BBC say U.S. Special Forces located the second missing crew member, while the Sydney Morning Herald reports on the risky night extraction. At the same time, President Trump has issued a new public threat to target Iran's power plants and bridges unless the Strait of Hormuz is reopened by Tuesday. According to the Financial Times and SMH, the FT also reports Iran has allowed Iraqi ships through Hormuz, a move that could release around 3 million barrels a day of oil to international markets. But the broader risk premium remains elevated given ongoing missile exchanges and strikes reported by Al Jazeera, including attacks in Gaza, Lebanon and Iran, and footage of an Iranian missile strike in Haifa. The economic implication is straightforward. Even partial disruption, or the threat of it, can keep fuel and freight costs higher for longer, complicating the global inflation outlook and central bank settings. Iran's wartime internet shutdown is also deepening economic damage inside the country, Al Jazeera reports, highlighting how modern conflict now targets connectivity as well as infrastructure. On the technological front, the Financial Times asks whether AI is the new fracking, pointing to a growing backlash against data centers over energy use and local impacts. The material development here is the policy and planning pressure building around the power demands of the AI boom, which is increasingly being treated as an energy system issue, not just a tech story. Turning to Australia, governments are explicitly warning that Middle East conflict-driven fuel shocks could linger even after fighting ends. SBS reports the federal government expects longer-lasting economic and fuel price impacts, while NSW and WA have announced measures to tighten monitoring of fuel retailers. ABC reporting adds a ground-level view. Petrol station staff say they are bearing the brunt of customer anger as prices rise, while operators argue they are not profiting from the increases. In federal politics and policy, the Albanese government is facing renewed criticism over gambling reform. The Guardian reports Senator David Pocock argues Labour's response to the Murphy inquiry falls short and is not evidence-based, keeping pressure on the government from the crossbench and advocates. Separately, The Guardian revisits the Hawke era through Gareth Evans' assessment of why that government is seen as a gold standard, a reminder that reform narratives are being actively contested as the current parliament debates what ambition looks like. On climate and long-run economic risk, ABC highlights 50 years of Cape Grim measurements in Tasmania, showing how clean air data tracks global atmospheric change and includes rare examples of successful interventions. It's a timely data point as climate metrics increasingly feed into investment, insurance and public sector planning. Locally, ABC reports a new micro-level analysis suggesting tree proximity can affect property prices, adding evidence to the debate over urban canopy targets and how councils balance heat mitigation with homeowner preferences. In sport, Zach Lomax's Western Force debut has been delayed by a false start, ABC reports, extending attention on his transition from league to professional rugby.